No, you're gonna go with mommy. Daddy has to do the show, remember? Okay.
Cute. At some point we can have her as a guest.
True. What? Yeah.
she definitely
Depending on the
wants her
state,
camera time.
there's rules against uh, monetizing your kids in some states now.
Oh,
So I'd be careful with that.
That's
very true.
crazy.
Very true. That is a very good point.
Too many like family influencers exploiting the hell out of their children finally made it so there's laws
Yeah,
about
you know what?
that. So I'd be careful.
Yeah. Nah, that makes sense.
Uh,
I see people breeding children probably into machines.
Yeah, trying to create the
yeah,
Just to
next
make 'em.
child star.
Yeah, yeah, or whatever.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn you guys up a
God, there
little
was that
bit.
one lady who lost custody of her kid because she was too busy filming in like the NICU to
Oh,
actually like take care of like she was asking like the nurses to get her sandwiches so she didn't have to stop filming her kid who was in like the children's emergency unit. Like it was wild, and I'm like,
that's nuts.
girl, you're live streaming on TikTok your kid in the NICU.
Well,
You
what was it? What was it that happened during
are a
TwitchCon
menace.
last year? Some lady had like a whole childbirth on Twitch. Like
There was a there
she
was
had
a
like a
whole.
yeah, she had like a kiddie pool in like her
So
living room. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, water home births are a thing and they
Yeah,
can be
they
done
are a
safely,
thing,
but
but
like
I've
that's so
never
weird
no,
to
seen
but
one.
stream
it was
on
a trend.
Twitch.
There's a lot of people doing it. It wasn't just one
But to
one
do it on
lady to
stream is
particular.
crazy.
To do
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on
that's what
Twitch
I'm
is really
saying.
wild. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm
It,
agreeing. Like doing it at home like that is a thing you can do safely depending on the person and the pregnancy, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and you
But
get like
doing it on Twitch is wild work. That
like
is
honestly, like I was
absolutely
just
uh,
amazed
insane.
that somehow
and it
it
was a
didn't
it was a trend.
but like somehow it didn't
Yeah.
hit any of the TOS. I was like, "Really?"
Nope.
Well, it's not like they showed her
No,
like
they didn't
there
show the
wasn't like a
cooter. They
close
didn't
up
show like the
cam
Yeah.
actual.
down there or
No.
Yeah,
something.
no.
So it's not gonna. What would you stream that under? Pools, I guess.
That's
I
crazy.
think it
That's
was just
crazy.
chat. I think it was just chatting. The ones I saw.
That's
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
it's
nuts.
chatting
crazy.
nowadays. Giving birth to a child
I mean,
is
talking through
Imagine
giving
they add a freaking
childbirth.
category childbirth.
bro.
Could you
2026, I
imagine just
wouldn't
being
be
like,
surprised.
okay, chat. Okay, if we hit the next channel
Yep.
point goal, I'll push again. Okay?
Oh
Could you
God.
imagine?
Yep.
I will
It's
push
wild.
Yep.
again.
Why would
It's
you do?
crazy.
Yep. Yep. If you don't
Level
donate
10
me,
hype
I'm
train,
not
you get to
pushing.
name him. If we get
That's
a treasure train,
crazy.
you get to pick his middle name. Let's go.
Stop.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm sorry.
It's terrible because like if we thought
People
about
do
it,
that
someone
shit in
else
this
has thought
one.
about it. Someone else has thought about it. Like, yo,
It's like that classic rule of the internet. Once somebody has thought it, it exists somewhere on the
it
internet
exists
already.
now. It exists now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Audio is looking good.
Okay.
And sound is perfect. I mean, not sound. Visual. All right, we are good to go. How are you guys feeling? All right.
All good.
All right. Okie doke. So, we're gonna start in three, two. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fireside Gamer Stories. I'm your host, Commando FW. I got my boy BKB, the one and only, and our amazing special guest. We have Fury Ashes, or Bunny. I feel like is another name you have. You have a couple names you go by.
Yep. Hi, I'm Bunny. That's my first name. Fiery Ashes is my Twitch and other social
Yes.
name, my handle on everything. Well, everything I could get it on.
Fair.
People, there was a bit of a queue to be fiery in a couple places, so
Really?
you win some, you lose some. But Twitch and YouTube and, the places that matter.
How
Yeah,
did they
I
both
feel that.
originate?
As long as you get in the good
I'm
ones,
sorry,
that's
what?
what matters.
Where does the bunny come from, and where does your actual username Fairy Ashes come from? Where does it originate from? I'm just curious.
So Bunny is my first name. As I said a moment ago, it's the name on my ID.
Oh, really?
So that's where that originates
Real
from.
one. It's
It's my first
actual.
You know
name.
what's
Wow.
crazy? I thought that was just your nickname. No, you serious? That really is your name?
That's why I'm.
Yeah, that's my first name.
That's
So
crazy.
I just let people call me by my first name sometimes, and that's fine. The internet is what it is. And then Fiery Ashes is sort of a mixture of things. So, I mean, it's largely because when I was a kid, as like one of the only like natural redheads in my whole family, I constantly get asked where I got my red hair from, and I was the only redhead in the family, so people would always make weird comments like, does the mailman have
Yeah,
red hair? Who has
yeah.
red hair?
Where did that red hair come from?
But they'd always tell people to watch out because redheads have a fiery temper and, all these things. There's a lot of associations for hundreds and hundreds of years about
Yes.
redheads being associated with fire, being kissed by the devil, so we're all evil and witches, all sorts of stuff. I mean, there used to be
That's
redhead
crazy.
witch hunters for like 3 centuries.
I did not
Which
know
is why
that.
there's less than 2% of the world's population is redheads, is because we were hunted down for like almost 400
Jeez.
years. But yeah,
That's
there's
crazy.
associations with fire and red hair, and I heard that constantly my whole like childhood. And I mean, Commando's met me in person before at PAX, and I am probably not what you'd associate that temperament with.
No.
So
no.
it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing when I made my first RuneScape character 25 years ago. I was Fiery Ashes and I was a fire mage, and I left all of my enemies in ashes in my wake, and I've
fire.
stuck with it
Played
ever
into
since.
You truly played into it. Oh my gosh. to add it
Yeah.
into the game as your mechanics is next level.
Yeah, I've played into it my whole life, but I'm a person who I've found myself doing something in real life and then going, did I just do that for the plot? Like, did I just do that so it's a story later?
Yep.
And so sometimes you just gotta lean into it.
I think that perfectly like encompasses everything I know about you. Because literally one of the first things she told me, she's like, you have main character energy. And I was like, I've never heard someone say that in like a physical form before. I've never heard anyone say main character at all. And she 100%
Okay.
has main character energy.
Thank you.
So it makes
Okay,
total
you have
sense.
to understand, seeing you in person in a crowd, you stick out. There were a lot of people who were just there in blue jeans and t-shirts, hair down, doing their thing. And you, the fit, the hair, I mean, you were the main character in a room of a lot of NPCs. No offense, they were all very lovely
said.
NPCs,
In
but
a
it
room
was...
like
full of
that.
a lot of NPCs. I was like, oh, jeez.
I mean, it's real. Did you
Never
know
had
that
that
almost
thing
the
before.
more? Did you know that more than 50 people, 50% of people don't have like inner dialogue with themselves? They never talk to themselves.
Are you serious?
They don't have an
You-
internal dialogue in their brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how they think is
It's
different.
like legit NPC type shit.
Yeah, I was like,
they
how
don't-
do
they
you, how
don't-
do you go
they-
through life?
So they tend to
No.
think in images. So it's like blobs of images and no
Hmm.
like internal constant dialogue. They're not narrating their life to themselves. They're just
No, I talk to myself
they get
more than I talk to other
blurbs of
humans.
shit.
That's also not very good thing, you know.
It might not be.
if
It
you-
might not be. Don't get me wrong.
It doesn't sound as healthy, but
When your
But,
best
You're in
friend
good
is just
company,
you in
though.
the mirror, it's kind of weird.
No, yeah, but I was just mentioning it because we're talking about NPCs, and
Yeah, no,
it's a
that's
real thing, and I
hilarious.
think yeah, and I think the years going on, the mentality of NPCs becoming more normalized, and yeah, it feels like everything feels less soulful, like
Yeah.
everything feels
People
soulless.
are losing that main character energy. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, it's true, especially like yeah, I don't know,
But
When you're
no,
living your whole life, doing the 9 to 5, keeping your head down, you're so tired by
can't
the time
blame
you
them.
get home that you barely can just do the stuff that you have to do for either your health or societal standards of living, whatever the thing
ugh,
is, right? You got to do your dishes, you got to do your laundry, you got to take care of
Hmm.
yourself, you got to take care of your family if you have one, you've got to do all these things. And then what time do you have for yourself at the end of a week like that?
minimal.
And
You're
so
right. Can't
if you're
blame them.
also, trying to keep your family or other expectations on you happy, I think it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day motions
Yeah.
and forget that you're the main character of your own story. You have to be the one to determine how interesting of a story it's going to be.
Yes. Yes.
I think
100%.
everyone is like on survival mode, and when you're in
Yeah.
survival mode, there is no main characters. You're just trying to
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
survive,
all just trying to survive.
You don't,
No one's a
yeah,
main
you
character because
don't,
everyone's trying to survive.
yeah. Like if you can't put the bread on the table, if you can't pay the rent, you don't even have the privilege to think about. Okay, so I'm gonna become this person. I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
thing that I wanted to always to do
Take
or
a leave
whatever,
day.
because you're just like, yeah, you're too busy figuring shit out, so you don't get, go out to the street.
Yeah.
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 And I don't blame anybody for being that way.
Yeah, that's
Um
why I agree. I
yeah.
take it back. If someone's an
I was gonna
NPC, then
say,
I
I was
feel
like,
sorry for
I
them.
feel like that's
Yeah,
more
like,
along
'cause
the lines of what
they've
you
probably
would
been
say.
through shit.
Well, also, I think I never meant it as an insult. It's just sort of the energy you bring to things, right? Like,
Yeah.
are you just kind of going through the motions
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
existing?
that's
And
true.
also, in any story, I think everybody again is the main character in their own heads. It's just how interesting is the story, right? And
Yeah.
so, when you're
Yeah.
enjoying any story, you're gonna get the main characters and supporting characters, and everybody else is just gonna be the background noise. But all of them are interesting, diverse people. Just maybe like a little more subtle about it,
True.
a little less
True.
attention being drawn to them. So
Slightly. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no judgment there at
Exactly.
all. And
Yeah.
I actually was just
I,
having a conversation the other day about how I think the difference between weird and eccentric is just how much money you have to do the weird things.
Yo, that's real.
yo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
No,
is
that's good.
so
Also,
real.
thanks for. I feel like a little bit corrected because you're right. I never thought about NPCs being NPCs just because I probably have maybe lacking empathy for strangers. But I never thought that maybe they became an NPC or have NPC mentality because they've actually been through so much shit or are going through so
Or
much
still
shit.
going through
Because
it.
I think about myself, maybe I am an NPC for someone else too, in
Hmm.
some cases where
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just like,
someone's
I'm not
background
gonna,
person.
Hmm.
yeah.
You're the
So
person
yeah,
on the bus or in traffic with them in the next car over, or
yeah,
whatever. We're
yeah.
all occasionally
TDLR,
background characters.
yeah, TDLR. Be nice to each other at the end of the day, because
That's why you should be
we're
nice to
all going
everyone.
through. Well, we're all, yeah. I mean,
But
one of the
I wanted
reasons.
to touch back on because I feel like it was a perfect segue to what I was gonna ask you next about how like people kind of just become NPCs based on like just not having enough time or being through like a survival kind of
Hmm.
state, a kind of mentality. You actually have a lot of stuff going on that you do, like uh, uh,
Yeah.
like once I realized how much you were a part of, I was like, oh my god, like I could not, I can't even handle my own
No.
day to day. But like, tell tell the audience just a little bit about, I guess, like the things that matter to you, what you've been doing in your life.
Oh, sure. So, um, I am disabled. I stopped being able to work my old jobs in my old industries back in 2016. And that was like a really weird time in my life because I was very go, go, go constantly. I always worked somewhere between 1 and 3 full-time jobs and do my charity work. And I have 2 wonderful bonus kids and a delightful now spouse. And
Congratulations.
I had a lot going
Nice,
on.
congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. But I I had a lot going on, and then suddenly I didn't have all this stuff on my plate anymore because I went from 3 jobs to 0 jobs all of a sudden,
Oh,
and I was going through a lot of health stuff, and my spouse had just my now spouse then just person I was dating that was super cool. Um, at the time was like, hey, I have a better job now. I'll take over the torch for a while. You rest, you figure out your health. We'll trade off.
that's
And I
amazing.
know that I'm so privileged
Yeah,
to be able to do that. Because
that's a clutch
I went
move.
from working over 110 hours a week on my slow weeks
That's crazy.
just to get the bills paid and still like making lunches for the kids sometimes before rushing out the door at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
to, nothing suddenly. And to have them step up and go, hey, I can make our bills. It's going to be tight, but we'll survive.
Yes.
Sort out your health was massive. And I had started streaming in 2015 on and
Okay.
off just as a hobby.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so at this point I was like, okay, I'm going to keep doing that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it kept being this like on and off thing because back then we didn't have all the moderation tools we have.
Nope.
Hate raids were like a huge thing on the platform at the time. I didn't have any moderators. Like it was a mess. So every once in a while I'd get overwhelmed and go, this is not a fun hobby anymore.
This
And
is
I'd
not
dip
fun,
out
yeah.
for a bit and I'd reassess. But I was really listless for a long time. And so I leaned more into the charity work that I do and just trying to get my life together a bit health wise. And then after 4 years of kind of on and off streaming, I actually considered deleting my Twitch account permanently, like even as a viewer, just
Oh,
being done
wow.
with it
Just leaving the
Oh.
platform
And-
altogether.
Mm.
all together. And some friends who I respect and admire these people so much, they kind of showed me what Twitch could be. The supportive communities that it could
Mhm.
have, the wonderful
Yeah,
people
the
you could
goods.
meet, the
Mhm.
good.
The good
And
side.
I went all in. I was like, okay, I'm going to try one more time. I have the free time. I'll just make a full schedule. And I found a couple mods and I tried one last time and I was like, if this fails, I'm off the platform.
Oh.
You can catch up with me in DMs. I'm
we
done.
almost lost you.
You almost lost me forever.
Oh my
And
gosh.
at this point, it was still very much the same thing. I was a homebody. I was really disconnected. I felt really listless. And I couldn't take care of my own stuff because I couldn't get work anymore because I was too disabled. And
Yeah.
getting on disability is very hard unless you lawyer up.
So hard.
And so I was just here. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go all in. And I did. And I was streaming 6 times a week
Okay.
just to fill my time.
Yeah.
And I hit affiliate the next month. And I got a couple extra mods. And they helped me handle things. And it was great. And now, I'm a full-time variety streamer. I'm sometimes charity streamer. I'm a moderator for the Lupus Foundation of America for their Discord and for their biggest charity event of the year.
Boom.
I'm in the Women's Guild and the Pride Guild and 6 of the Creators Clubs and the Moderators Club. I am the co-founder of a neurodivergent stream team because I live with major depressive disorder, CPTSD, and OCD. And so I like to support my fellow neurodivergent homies. And so we
yeah.
have our Neurodivergent Plus team. I still do charity work in my hometown in Portland, Oregon, every single month. But so I'm juggling streaming at least 40 hours a week and the charity streams and then my charity work. I actually
Work.
am like upper management of an event that's held annually in Portland
Oh, nice.
called Game Storm. It's like a big gaming convention that's also like an educational event that's ran by a
what?
charity nearby.
I might need to check
And
that out. I'm closer to Oregon.
it's next month. So if
Yeah,
you
I was
want to
like,
come,
I'm in Idaho,
hit
so
me
I'm
up.
like right there.
Gamer Storm.
Game
Gamer.
Storm.
Game
Oh,
Storm.
Game Storm.
I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about education and games, so like, hell yeah.
So I help with that. And I'm also a cast member of The Old Ways, which is a tabletop RPG podcast. We do actual plays and industry news.
Nice.
Um, so my life is so
TCGs?
much different. All tabletop role playing games, so all TTRPGs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we do
Okay.
actual play content.
Yeah.
I used to be a TCG tournament judge though for Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Of course you
I'm
Oh,
always down to
wow.
talk. I'm always
Damn,
down
your
to talk
resume is wild.
TCGs. Oh, you have no idea. I've worked so many weird jobs trying to find a place in the world.
that you
I've
have
done
feel you.
everything.
extensive
I feel you.
resume.
That's, yeah.
I've done
I mean,
everything
that's
from prepping legal
totally-
documents to balloon animals for birthday parties. Like
What?
you,
That's
Maybe
not
we're the
even
same
weird
person.
path.
Maybe you're my lost sister, cause funny, cause I just went to a job interview and I did get accepted, but I did
yeah.
not go. I did not go because at the end of the day, they only gave me 3 days a week, and it takes me 4 trains. I need to transfer
Oh.
4 times.
4
It
trains.
takes
is
me an hour and
crazy.
hour and 20 minutes to go there
Ooh.
just because of the location. So I decided I'm gonna be more patient and wait for another job opportunity. And
That's a
that
good
was the
idea.
job of going to kids' party, blowing balloons, doing magic tricks. And I
Yeah.
also thought about it if I really want to do it, Money calls, I need money, but it's funny because I'm going through the same thing. Like I've been trying for last 3 years. I've tried so many different jobs and industries, and I think it's okay. I think that's how you
Yeah.
find your place.
Yeah, you gotta find
Where
your
you're
place,
like, okay. But then you still work on your stuff on the side, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to work the regular job, all rest of our life.
Some people do.
yeah. Some people
Some
are
people
happy
do.
with it.
I was gonna say, I
Some
was like,
people do.
I remember working fast food, and like I was asking like the older dudes, and they're just like, "Yep, this is my job for the rest of my life." And I was like, "This job, this one right here is what you're good at." I was like, "Okay."
Go ahead.
I can admire a job where you go there at a time, you do the job, you clock out, you do not have to think about it off hours.
That's what matters. That is honestly, that's why I stopped doing management jobs. Like once they started taking
Yeah.
work home with you, it's like, nah, no.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to like putting effort, hours, and the reality of owning a business or being a CEO or doing your own thing.
Oh, it's a lot.
Because like
crazier.
like Bunny said, basically what happens is you clock in, clock out, that's it. But
Yeah.
people like oh, 9 to 5, I don't want to do it. But then there's like even I respect the top streamers. They stream for 12 hours, they do this and that. It's very hard. I wouldn't say it's harder than 9 to 5, because 9 to 5 is just
Depends
just
on the job.
that depends on the job. But I would still say on a long term, at the end of the day, you have your own freedom, right? You can
Yeah.
you do your own thing, but it takes
Yeah.
more effort, energy, and in general, like maybe it contradicts what I say, but it takes a lot to do your own thing, because you clock out, there's nothing to clock out. It depends all on you if you make the
Yeah.
bread, if you put the bread on table or not. If you need to stream for 5 hours or 12 hours, no one's gonna
Yeah.
pay but you.
No,
Yourself.
that's exactly what I tell everybody. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like so you don't work a job anymore." I was like, "Oh no, I work a job. Trust me. I just quit." It goes from 9 to 5 to a 24/7 job. Yeah, you might not be doing a lot every day, but every day you're gonna be doing something that pushes your goals or something that you need to do or something you need to be consistent with. So it's like, yeah, is it easier because I'm not doing like I used to do like construction. Like I used to do like house
Sure.
renovation. and yeah, my back is still broken from that. But like,
Yeah, that's hard.
yeah, and that's hard. But like,
Yeah.
doing content is still equally hard to me because like I'm
Yeah.
using a different part of my brain I never used before. I'm doing more creative things and I never thought I was
Oh, it's
creative.
different. Yeah.
So that's like harder to me than just doing backbreaking work because backbreaking work I can do with my eyes closed. My body will deteriorate a lot faster.
It has its own pros and cons.
Hmm.
No, I
Obviously,
I
but
agree
yeah.
though on kind of a middle point, right? Like I think that it is harder in some ways, but
Yeah.
also depends on the 9 to 5, right? Like
Exactly.
I think I work harder as a full-time content creator than I did for most of my retail jobs and
Okay,
probably most of my food industry jobs.
that would make sense.
Um,
But
like I think,
mentally though, isn't it like 'cause if I ask, I think if I ask 99% people would say if you get to choose, you working like the retail 9 to 5 or you becoming a streamer and you're making the same money, you
Yeah, I
know?
was gonna say you have
I,
to say
I
you're making the
if
same
I was
money.
making the same money, whoo.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's a good.
I
That's I asked that question too. It's such a good question, BK. I'm so glad you brought
it,
that up because
No,
like
but
that's
it's
what
because
we've been missing.
that's where I come from because it's easier. It's just like again, I worked in corporate for almost 5 years. I make great money. I work with celebrities, rich
Yep, had a good
people,
time.
but at the end of the day, it's miserable. It has no fulfilling moments really. You
Mhm.
know, even when I dealt with like Chris Eubank, who's a professional champion from UK, he gave me a suitcase with $80,000 in cash. You know, it made
That's
me
cool.
feel
Yeah,
something,
that's
but I know
awesome.
it's not my money. Yeah, but it's not my money, and it's like,
True. Also, it's not
what
yours.
what what of it? Yeah, yeah, what
Yeah.
of it? You know, it doesn't even. I even think like when you stream and when you hit that 100 followers, that is like 10 times more fulfilling than opening a suitcase with money and closing it. You know,
Yeah,
No,
it's
sure.
yeah, so
I'd
I'm
agree.
in that sense I think like it's easier when you put the whole bubble. I think streaming is easier. I think it's just harder because you do have to be more creative. You have to use
More
your energy
consistent.
to talk with the chat. You have to do, retail, you just stay in the corner, do your
Hmm.
thing, you kind of just, you just like collect the money,
Yeah,
let's be real.
if you
Most
can
people
sell
most people
anything, then retail is nothing to you. If you can just sell anything,
no,
it's
Yeah, I was
yeah,
nothing.
raised by a salesman, so I can
yeah.
sell
See, I just
And
water
found
to a
out I
swimming
was a
pool.
salesman. Like, I literally got told the other day by some old lady. She was like, "Have you ever thought about selling cars?" I was like, "I have not." She's like, "You would be really good for that." I was like, "Would I really?" Never thought, never crossed my mind. But then I realized, like, I work with different brands and things, and like, I'm always pushing things. But like, I like my whole thing, especially like when it comes to like a job. I feel like it doesn't matter what you do for work, but you have to have some kind of passion for it. Like
yeah,
Sure.
like I
yeah.
knew a lot of cooks and like I was just like, "Oh, why would you want to stay in the kitchen?" Cuz I actually don't like to cook. I barely eat food. I'm barely in the kitchen. So like nothing about it excites me. But I'll see these young kids like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go to school for this. I'm going to become a top chef. Like this is my life." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice." I couldn't do it because I have no passion for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do think there's three things. I don't want to box them, but let's say I think that's how people navigate when it comes to a job.
Yeah,
So the first one is passion, like you mentioned,
Hmm.
right? You need a passion for whatever you do to make money
100%.
potentially, right? If you don't have passion, then most likely you're doing that job because of comfort, which is like the guy that you mentioned as a cook that says, I'm gonna work here for the rest of my life. He
Yeah,
probably says that because he's
cuz he's
being paid.
comfortable.
He get Yeah, he can pay rent, get buy food, and he feels safe.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's the safe
So
place.
why leave?
And then the third one, which is kind of also with the comfort, but the third one is someone that needs money, and
Yeah.
you will do any job to get the money because
Yeah.
again you need to put the food on the table. So I think there's like three small boxes, and you get to choose who you want to be. You want to either pursue and do a job that you're passionate about do a job that you feel comfortable about, or do a job that's gonna pay you the most because you need money,
so
but
that
you're
you
not
can be
gonna feel
comfortable enough.
comfortable and you're not gonna feel passionate about. I
Yeah.
think that's how the the job idea market works for most of the.
I could
So
see that being how a lot of people think about it. I think that amount of effort and time for that job also balance against those, right? Like
mhm.
if I am pretty passionate about a job, but I have to work twice as many hours in a week, or it's way more
Yeah,
difficult work, but I'm really excited about it,
But I really
yeah,
enjoy it.
and it doesn't pay as much. Like, I think that it's those three things that you just mentioned, sort of on a scale against amount of time and effort that each job takes.
Yeah, no,
I think is a
I
lot of how
already,
people just figure that out.
yeah, my hugest thing is like time is such a valuable thing. So like you're totally, I didn't even think about that as well. As like, yeah, if I'm doing what I'm really passionate about, but it takes so much out of my day that I can't do anything else, that's a little weird. Like you got to
it,
find that
My
median.
it's it's just dystopian in a sense because at the end of the day, time is everything. Again, time equals to money and
Time is
whatever you want to
everything.
equal it to it. And there's even movies about it, like in 2011, there was a with Justin Timberlake. It's called In
Oh,
Time,
I remember that
where
one.
yeah, and that is you just have to play. It's very hard because we're human beings. Again, we're human beings, or this and that, and we just like let it go. We don't take these things serious. That like hey, tomorrow we can die. So let's actually live this day to the
How about
fullest,
we
and we
live it?
don't. And at the same time, same comes here with the time. We just like if we had a watch and the watch had a time and the time was a currency that we pay for, that would change everyone's mentality.
Oh yeah,
But we don't have
100%.
that watch. We don't have a
No, that
visible,
that movie scared the hell out of
tangible. No, but that's actually what it is now. It just we
me.
don't see it, and
True,
it
it's
yeah,
just
doesn't
not. It's
it
just
doesn't
not
feel like
on
it
you.
applies. Yeah, it's not. It feels like it's not being applied to us, but it is
But
in
it
real
is.
fucking time.
yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a
and we're
very
just
good
human
point.
beings. We kind of suck because we don't take shit
So
for
we kind of
granted, man. We sometimes we suck, sometimes we're
Yeah.
cool, but we take a lot of times shit for granted,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's what
No,
it is.
I agree. We absolutely take everything for granted, but especially time
yeah,
we take
Yes.
for granted. Absolutely.
it's a huge one.
Yeah.
For me, it's really tricky because like people would think, oh, I had all the time in the world for a couple years, right? Like that period where I was just like figuring out my health and I wasn't working any kind of job really other
But
than
that
like
figuring it
whatever
out
gig I
takes
could get my
time.
hands on. But like it was really stressful. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
afford to do anything fun with that time anyway. It's not like I could suddenly just do whatever I wanted
Travel
in
the
the whole
world or
world
some
for
crap
that
like
year.
that. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like if I spent 3 years just living in the lap of luxury doing whatever, that'd be different. But,
Mm-hmm.
that time also came at its own cost. And
Yes.
I was just constantly going between random gigs trying to like make food still appear on the table,
Make
right?
ends meet.
Make any kind of money at all for anything so it wasn't all on my partner. Because one person's income can only get so far in today's world, right? Like that's not really a thing.
That's so true.
Preach,
And
amen.
Yeah, yeah, yo, you're
and
preaching to the
so
choir with that one.
Shout out to your partner.
right, but now I like, how do I put this? My mods and I have done the math. I work over 100 hours a week most weeks,
Okay.
but I enjoy what I do. I still get time with my spouse. I still get time with friends.
Yeah, you're
I
somehow
hang out
still
with really cool
managing.
people. I I get to do these things I'm passionate about. When we took a trip, my now mother-in-law sent us on a trip for our engagement. She'd known the writing was on the wall. Someday we'd be getting married,
Yeah.
and she saved up for years, and she sent us on our first trip together because we've never been able to afford a vacation.
Cute.
That's never been a
Wow.
thing.
You never even thought that was a
And
possibility. You weren't even
We
planning
never
for
thought we were
that.
gonna afford to go on a vacation
shout
together.
out to your mother-in-law.
For real.
Shout out to my mother-in-law. She's a real one, and she
Kudos.
sent us to Europe for like 2 weeks.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Oh, I
So
thought
we
you were
went-
gonna. I thought you were gonna say in the States.
No, that was that trip to Germany that we talked about before,
yeah,
like
you,
briefly.
You got that gifted to you, Jesus.
Yeah, it cost her like
Amazing. Wow.
$3,000,
Yeah.
and we.
Wow.
Inexpensive.
Wow.
It was
Super
wild.
Wow.
So privileged. She's just a nurse. She's a nurse, single mom, like grandma who helps raise all of her grandkids.
Oh, she making that.
And she
back.
saved
She's
up
that
for
good
years.
grandma.
And she saved up for years, and she sent us. She was
Goated.
like, "You'll have to get your passports,
And
but
that's it.
otherwise, let
And
me take
that's
care of what
it.
I can." And we stayed in hotels were stupid cheap. I didn't expect that in
They're
Germany. It was like
so cheap.
$70 a night.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was
yeah. Europe as
easy.
well.
Dude, you can get one for like $20 a night and be luxurious.
Yeah, there's
The
hotels.
nicest one we
and
stayed in was $70 a night USD.
Yeah, that's
There's
ridiculous.
a hostel. There's like S letter before hotel called hostel. I
Oh,
don't know if you have it
hostel.
in
Oh
yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
use hostels. All
Those
the time.
are bro. We have them in my country.
They're
for
amazing.
10 euros a night. And
I
you get,
will
like,
tell you,
yeah,
don't take a hostel in America.
Yeah,
some
I would have to
some
warn
horror
against that.
movie type shit.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
wild. I did it.
It's
I did it
wild.
when I went to.
There's only one
Boston.
in my region that I would recommend.
Yeah,
the rest
no,
of them I
it's
would stay away from.
creepy. I was
Yeah.
like, how is the one in a foreign, desolate country better than the one in a major metropolitan area? Like it looked like it was everything was nice
Because-
around it, and that one looked like, oh, it's definitely like you're gonna die in there.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, even when I came here, I started noticing that like the things in America, obviously not all the places, and you can't
Not
have
all the
everything nice.
things.
It's
Sure.
it's surreal. It's same with Russia, like Moscow or St. Petersburg. If you go there, it's gonna be insanely beautiful. You're gonna be like, what the hell?
That's
This
not
place is so nice. But then you go to the outskirts, and then you
To the
see the
hood.
real life, So same with USA, but yeah, I would say Europe has cheaper and better things with higher quality.
Yes,
That's what it is.
I agree.
I was really worried as a disabled person going over there, and I was also really worried about taking 2 weeks off of content creation
Just
because
living, that's 2 weeks
that's
of
a
no
big
money.
deal. We don't have paid time off. We don't have vacation
Yep,
time.
we
I'm
don't
screwed
have
if this
health
doesn't go
care, paid
well.
time off. We don't
Yeah.
got none of that.
Yeah, and so as a disabled person, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make 2 weeks work. Like, we need to talk about this, and it's gonna disrupt things for a little while. And the airline broke my wheelchair, and so I was pretty sure I was
Stop.
screwed just upon getting there. That's actually the most common thing. They recommend if you're able to get by without a wheelchair at all for any amount of time to never
They
travel
break
on an
your
airline with
wheelchairs?
one
Do they
because
give you money?
it's so common. No. I could have sued them technically,
Yeah,
I guess,
I'm like,
probably.
hold on.
But even the lawyers I talked to were like, you're going to lose that case and it's going to be expensive. And so I
That's ridiculous.
didn't.
America do
But
better.
so suddenly I was just wheelchairless in Europe, and I wasn't sure what things were going to look like. And I wasn't sure what incomes were going to look like if we're talking real talk about jobs.
Yeah, no, this is that kind of
and-
stuff that people need to understand that like.
So I
we're
went
not
over
rich
there.
just because we do content creation. We're not. Everyone keeps
Yeah.
thinking that. It's like no. I get paid the equivalent of a minimum job, a minimum wage job. I just
Girl,
do the
I
work
wish
that
I
like.
could make minimum wage. I'm not at minimum wage yet. That's not a thing over here.
All right, we gotta work
am
on
so
that. We gotta work
excited.
on that then, because you do so much
What
more
is
work than
minimum
I do.
wage?
So I would love if I was making even U.S. minimum wage and not my area's minimum wage.
Oh, you are
so
in
minimum
Oregon.
wage. So minimum wage in the United States, federal minimum wage, is $7.25 an hour. I
Yep.
do not make that.
What?
No. And that's not counting Portland's minimum wage. Portland minimum wage is a different beast.
Well, yeah. When I moved
Portland-
to Idaho, that's how because in New York, I lived in New York, and like minimum wage now, I forget what it is, but it's something like decent.
16.
16?
In
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
yeah, in the
Idaho,
Portland metro area, it's $16.30.
Yeah, in Idaho,
for where
it's
I live.
10. I think it just went
Yeah.
up to 10.
But the cost of living is different.
Yeah, but the cost of
So-
living makes it a
Yeah.
little bit okay. But I honestly though, everyone says that and I say that too. But then I really thought about it. If I actually got paid just minimum wage, it would actually be really tough to just afford everything in my house. I was like, minimum wage is
Yeah.
not like you have to get paid a little bit more than just minimum wage. Like, so when people offer minimum
Yeah.
wage, I'm like, really? You just don't give a fuck about like your employees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or the most famous saying since like last few years. You
Mhm.
are replaceable. You don't want it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yep,
You're
they'll find someone
Employees
that
don't
will
want to
work
work.
it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's not
Employees
us.
don't want to work. It's not us.
It's the Gen Z. They don't want to work, right?
And the Gen Z and the millennials and the Gen X, like, nobody
Yeah.
wants to work anymore.
Yeah, no one wants to
because
we
work
want to
anymore.
live.
I
We
just
want
want
to
to work
live on
for
the
a
street.
decent wage. That's all.
Fun fact about that, there are news articles going all the way back to the Industrial Revolution saying employees just don't want to work whenever there's any disputes about wages or living conditions.
Oh, it's just always
in the United States. That is the topic since the
Huh.
Industrial Revolution. Since we started standardizing those jobs, it's been like nobody wants to work because we're not paying them enough, and
So
nobody
people
wants to.
can't say
Nobody
it's
wants to
because
work.
of
They only want to
this.
work 40 hours a week. They want lunch breaks. Nobody wants to work
Yeah.
every few years since
It's
the
like
Industrial Revolution. It's the
We're
cycle
going
we're in.
backwards. Like in Scandinavia, like Denmark booms 4 times a week. You don't even work 5 times a week.
Mhm.
They have the living cost is cheaper than New York, but they make the same money as in New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And they work 4 times a week.
And then
That's it.
they're enjoying their life.
And they are #1 happiest country in the world.
I was gonna
according
say,
to
I bet
statistics.
they are happy.
Yeah.
That's
Like, bro,
a lot of Scandinavia and a lot of Europe in general has like really, really high happiness ratings and quality of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I've looked into it before.
I will say, when I went to
absurd.
Germany, considering who I am, what I look like, yes, I have a mohawk. I'm also
Mhm.
darker skinned. Like
Mhm.
with everything that everyone told me going there, everyone was so goddamn happy that I felt like the bad person. I was like, why am
Oh,
I the
no,
most negative?
Oh, yeah, everyone's super happy. Yeah,
Like, yeah, you want to
that
buy
was
a,
a
you want a
thing.
beer? Yeah, just put it on my tab. I'm like, dude, how? Like, I don't want to put that. Yeah, go ahead. I was like, I wouldn't buy you a drink. I don't care.
Mm.
Oh,
It's the mohawk, okay?
main character
It must
energy. They
be.
want to
It
be part
must
of your
be.
party.
It must be. No, I literally
It
my
has
my
to be.
my whole family like gave me like a whole survival kit. Like, hey, this is the numbers you gotta call. Like, these are the things that happen. Like, I'm gonna call
Yeah.
you every night to make sure that you're not like taken. I'm like, why would they take me?
Nah, man,
There's also-
it's diverse and
No, it was- dude,
things-
I saw
times have
more
changed.
black
We're
people-
talking about 15.
I saw more black
Exactly,
people
bro.
in Germany than I have seen in Idaho.
Yeah,
I
we're
was
talking
gonna
about
say
15
there's more
years
over
ago.
there than in
Yeah,
Idaho.
I
is
was
it?
like,
right?
dude, I'm
Like, this is
comfortable
more
out
diverse
here.
than Idaho. It's more diverse over there than Eastern Oregon or
100%.
Washington, also for sure. Like,
but
no question.
It's a past. We're talking about Germany, but we're even talking about Russia now. Russia has
Yeah.
like a lot of communities with black people now.
Yeah,
nowadays.
dude, it's more.
It's like
I think it's
everything
more
is
mixed in the UK.
it's
than it is
normal.
here.
It's completely normal nowadays, and
Like,
and
I didn't
it's okay.
feel I
and-
didn't feel like racism at all there. But like in America, that's like what they try to push. But like that's the place that you get the most racism for everything.
Yeah.
Even if you're, I've seen white people be racist to other white people because they're slightly different ethnicity. It's like what?
Yeah.
In everywhere else, everyone's chill. Like, why are we freaking out?
Because I think because we're just. I honestly think it's just the workload, the stress, and the living cost.
We could
That's
be
what
just
it
really
is.
too stressed. That is true. It could.
Like
be.
even the idea of having 4 days a week of work
hmm
makes you feel like I have almost half week free. Like I can
Yeah.
do whatever I want and that one day does change your mentality. Where like it's just different. The weeks change, the days change, right? Like
Yeah.
the even you feel motivated. And one more thing about the
Mhm.
$16, which being a minimum wage,
Mhm.
I've noticed when I worked in jewelry industry, people would get like half a dollar raise offers, right? And they would
Mhm.
be so unmotivated, right? And you
Mhm.
would see the workforce just drop down. You would see a little bit like even I don't know how
They got
much it
50-cent
actually impacts.
raises.
I'm bro, it's a joke, man. I
Yeah.
made I made
I've
made for
gotten
this
way less.
company. I made for this company $1.5 million in a
Oh, and
year
then they give you a
selling
50-cent raise.
jewelry sales. No, they gave me $1, but I
Okay,
still said
okay.
no. I said no because it's still for me. With the promises they said, it was like you're just not appreciating me because you're offering me $1 when I made you probably like in
Oh yeah,
profit like
that you can't
400.
look at.
Yeah, but
You
like
can't
but
look
again,
at.
I do. Listen,
Dude,
I
I
do.
worked for Victoria's
I was
Secret.
the best
I
salesperson.
know. I knew their stocks. They gave me their stocks and shit. I'm like, dude, I know how much. If I sell one bra, I made you $80. And my raise that year, I got 5 cents.
Yeah,
See,
that's the kind of
they're
raises
looking
my
down.
spouse gets.
Yep, I was
Yeah,
like 5 cents. That's
no,
it
no,
for all
no,
the
no,
work
no.
I do all year. Oh yeah, no, you guys.
Can I
That's
give
a
a hot take
Yes,
really
yeah.
quick on
please.
that? So, hot take, if your raises are not keeping up with the rate of inflation, even if they're giving you a raise every year, they're cutting your wages.
Yeah,
What
because
do you wait? Hold on. What do you
exactly.
mean?
So, if the rate of inflation, let's say everything costs 30 cents more per year,
Okay.
right? Let's just, as an example, let's just say
Yeah,
that
so
that's
put a
such an
number.
easy number so that so we can put a number on it, right?
I got it.
Let's say everything's more expensive, 30 cents a year.
Yes.
If they're only giving you a 5 cents a year raise, your money effectively is worth less by 25 cents every year
Yeah,
in the
I see
difference.
it. I know what you're saying.
You
I know
get
what you're
you
saying.
get 25
Am I just
cents
not
less
good at
an
math?
hour of spending power.
Oh, you don't have to count the math. You have to
I
understand
was
the
like, am I
idea
just
that
not good at math?
if
I was like,
no, 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 no. If look, if the food goes a little bit higher, right? But they're offering you raise not to match the inflation. You're basically they're cutting your wage. Like you're
you consider
earning
that
less.
cutting?
Not, well, on not on the paper, but in reality, it is. It's same when they basically when there's a huge inflation, right? And let's say it's more than $1, because there's some items went up
Sure.
like it's 60, 70%
Mhm.
inflation.
Mhm.
But then they say, okay, so minimum wage, we're gonna offer you $1 more minimum wage.
Yes.
But in reality, it does not help anyone because the prices went up for most of the things $2, let's say, right? So
Okay.
Mhm.
you're still behind
You're still
whatever the
behind
real life
the
the
curve of
total amount of
inflation.
let's
So
say
if
let's
your spending power goes down every year, well, everything else
Keeps
is
going
costing more.
up.
Your spending power is going down, not staying at least the same. You're not making more money because it's going to take more hours of work to buy the exact same things.
I
that's
think
what's
I
happening right
get it.
now with with everything. The stores are not making
I
enough
think you guys taught
sales.
me something. I was like, wait a minute.
No,
So
but
wait,
that's how it is. That's the
I've been getting
system.
It's
gypped this whole fucking time.
Yes,
it's
all of them.
yeah,
I am
it's
devastated.
a little bit of labor theft happening there.
A little
As a
bit.
way-
All
A little bit.
You're telling me that I've been saying thank you to the fact that I've been getting less money every year.
Effectively
this
less
is
money. Like it looks on
you
paper
are,
like
yeah.
more money, but
Yeah,
if
because
it's
like if I get a
not
dollar
able to buy
raise-
the same staples of life anymore at the same rate, and the gap between
Yeah.
how much you make and how much the same things cost every year are widening every single year.
Because like a
You're
5
staying
raise,
down here,
I'm
but
like,
everything costs up.
Okay, I'll explain easier. If Ferrari costs you 200,000, right? But you earned this year
That was easy.
$200,000. Let's say, listen, Ferrari 200K. You
200K,
made this year
okay.
200K, right? They gave you a raise. Next year you're making 230,000.
Yeah.
30,000 more.
Yeah.
But now Ferrari costs 280. So you're behind already 50K
Still.
because of inflation and yeah, even they gave you a raise. The prices of everything has skyrocketed. That your raise does not matter. That's what they do with the minimum wages as well. They increase it because there's been inflation, but it doesn't even add up to the power
I think
to,
I'm the cog. I think I'm the reason why they think it's okay.
So-
I'm like, I get caught
so
by that
think-
every time.
But think about less extreme examples than Ferrari. I mean, that's a great example because it's nice big numbers, right? But
yeah, exactly.
when it's toilet paper, your rent, eggs,
Everything.
whatever the thing
Yeah,
is,
eggs.
right?
Netflix.
Eggs. I mean, eggs was a different circumstance this year. It's
Yeah,
basically
eggs is
like buying
weird.
gold
Eggs is
bullion.
weird.
That was a scam, bro. You should be a
Although-
drug dealer selling eggs, bro.
There were back market like egg dealers in Portland. I don't know
There
about where
was.
y'all are, but
In New
there's
York
so
as
many
well.
people.
No
There's so many people
way.
with yard chickens, like chickens just in their yards, making their
Like,
own eggs for their own
yo,
houses.
I'm slinging
that
eggs.
they were like,
Oh,
you
they're
could
big.
drop money off in boxes along people's fences and like get eggs from your neighbors because
Yeah.
it was so much cheaper than going to the store. So there was like, oh yeah, there's an egg dealer in my neighborhood. Let's go over there. I need to do some baking. And it was a mess.
That's
It was a
kinda lit.
big problem.
Is it a problem?
But-
Okay, is it a problem? My head, I was like, wait,
Well,
that
when-
sounds
when
awesome.
Okay, but at the time, a dozen eggs at the store cost as much as 5 dozen eggs at the store had cost 3 months prior. So like there was a problem with eggs, but
Oh.
like buying it from your neighbor is not necessarily an issue.
That was.
But it gets expensive if you're buying one egg at a time from like random neighbors, even if it's cheaper from the store. It's just still expensive. It's still goofy. Point is, spending power. That was my hot take though. Is like if your raises are only 5 cents more a year, but
And inflation
inflation
goes up even
is like way up
30%.
here, like then they're kind of tricking you into taking less money than you.
It knows it out.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. It's also another.
I've
not
been doing
really
this for a
hot
long
take.
time in my life. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah. We remember when we got the checks for COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
That was a
It's,
shining, fleeting moment.
It
Saved
it
my
was,
life.
but again, it's again a bigger picture is that in long term, it's I don't know, it's
Oh,
part
it's
of
nothing.
their
How much
plan.
money have we given the
it
government?
is that's my point, right? They make you feel like, oh, so
You gave me
everything is
300
okay. What we're getting, yeah, but that's my point, right? But the prices all stay the same. So in the long term, you still
Yeah.
again lose the money, and it's all just copium, bro.
Yeah. I didn't mean to make this into leftist economics class.
No, it's totally
That's
cool.
my bad.
Apparently, I needed that. Apparently.
No, but we started talking about streaming jobs. It's all
Yeah.
connected,
I
right?
clearly
At the
don't
end
know
of the
how
totally.
day.
money works in America, so that's great.
Yeah.
when I went on that trip to Germany, though, bringing it sort of full circle, I still worked during my engagement trip that was gifted
You
to us
streamed?
because there was
Yo,
no
yeah,
way
you
not to.
did.
I streamed from Germany.
Which also
more
kudos
than
to
once.
you, because when I did it,
Fire. For
the internet out there
with the
is
stick.
garbage.
But I streamed a couple times. I took pictures of
It's
places. I made
not.
a whole different game. I made a Where is Carmen Sandiego kind of game out of it, and I brought a hat just for content
Cute.
in my suitcase, and I was like, where in the world is Fiery Ashes?
That's
And
fire.
I'd give them clues about what landmark I was near, and it was a 60-hour art project leading up to it so that I could post on the fly. It was a mess.
That's-
Like, it was great,
no,
but it was a lot
you
of
say
work.
It's a mess,
And it was
but it sounds amazing.
it was fun, and it's something I can clean up for later when I need to travel in the future, whether it's for like
Yes.
Summer Games Done Quick or for PAX or whatever.
Hey.
But I had to do so much work just so that, and it wasn't so I could make more money. It was just so that my money didn't,
Didn't
like, so my
dwindle
income
away.
didn't disappear when I came back. Like, I still had an income when I
Which
came back.
kudos to
That was the
you
whole point.
for remembering that, because that was my failure with like starting this whole like journey, is like I didn't plan ahead. I didn't plan ahead.
We were
honestly.
talking earlier about this. You didn't plan ahead. I am shocked.
No, I ended up spending a lot of money, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just get that back. and then I didn't get it back. And I was like, shit.
I think it's so interesting. I'm a big planner, and I know that you mentioned that you never ever plan travel in advance.
I don't plan nothing.
What about you? Do you? So 2 out of 3 of us, where there's a split.
Oh yeah, BK.
Could you be the tiebreaker? Are you a planner when it comes to traveling or like doing things, or do you just seat of your pants?
I would just decide where I want to go. I buy the ticket, and that's it.
And that's it. You don't think about nothing else.
But how far in advance do you buy the ticket?
It depends if it's spontaneous or if it's sometimes it can be planned. Let's say if I want to visit my parents, I'm most likely gonna plan it out because it's like 11-hour flight. But if I want to travel somewhere with my wife, I'll be like, oh, let's go. You know, now we're waiting for tax money. We're trying to go to Puerto Rico. So we're like, you know,
Very
when we
cool.
get the money, we just thank you. Yeah, when we just get the money, we just out of here, and that's it.
Yeah, and you figure out shit later. Yep. Like, once you have the money for the flight and you know you're going, then you plan out the hotel. And then after that, you figure out everything else.
Yeah, obviously I would Google like stuff like what to do in Puerto Rico, you know, and whatsoever.
Oh, I don't even do that.
But, I mean, if I'm visiting a country, I wouldn't do that in my country, the one I'm visiting, right? Because I know what to do. But if I'm visiting a country that I don't know of, or a city inside there, I would do a little research.
You do some kind of research. Okay, yeah.
Just to be efficient with the time, to not look for stuff there, you know, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna arrive there, it's not like you're gonna walk now 10 hours around looking for something. You're gonna end up wasting your whole vacation.
We're sliding scale of preparedness.
Hey, okay. Difference is if you're going alone. If I went alone, you know, I would be like, oh, let's just do life and go by myself, figure it out. Yes, but
because if you walk down the street, you might meet somebody, end up going to a club or going to some kind of venture or adventure trip or doing something. Like I've never planned my trips, and every one of my trips, a bunch of crap happens. But that's because literally, like how you met me is I didn't even plan to be at that place. I just one of my friends said, "Hey, come here." I said, "Okay."
I love that we were a sliding scale of preparedness for a second. Like, I plan a trip. Like, if I know I'm going on a trip, I am booking that ticket right away so I don't have to worry about it later. Whereas you're leaving to a different state this week and you still haven't bought your ticket yet.
Well,
there was a nice middle ground for a second, and then the gap widened. The gap widened again.
I bought my ticket there. I just didn't buy my ticket back. That's all.
Do you think by no means it would be offensive? I'm just curious. Do you think that the planning also is connected with your like OCD in a sense? Because like you want to make sure that like this, you feel like
that's not
part
offensive.
of it.
No, it's not offensive. You're good. I think it's I definitely think it's part of it. Because I mean OCD tends to develop in brains that are seeking some form of sense of control and understanding of their life and the environment that they're in, right? Like if everything is chaos, your brain is trying to make structure so there's something that has order if everything else is chaos. So I love a calendar. I love knowing what is expected of me and when I have time to goof off and just do whatever unplanned thing versus like when somebody like I might be having this chat with you wonderful guys, and so I'm not out in the world with my spouse and our friends right now who are off, you know, experimenting with new culinary adventures, trying to recreate food we had in Germany actually right now.
Oh, what?
They're trying to make doner kebabs from scratch. They just got a vertical rotisserie and everything, and they're trying like they're making the whole meat obelisk.
I feel bad for
it's like
keeping
a whole
you away
thing.
From that.
No. But I'm just saying, like, I like knowing what's going on so I can plan around it, and so that, you know, all of that. And then with my OCD and travel especially, I'm a disabled woman. I cannot go everywhere. I cannot physically use stairs. There's a lot of places that are not accessible to me.
Which is crazy.
I don't want to go all the way to somewhere and find out that there's stairs I cannot use to get somewhere. So I always have to plan even little adventures around my own city.
You're checking
right? Like,
everything out.
I'm checking, is it in a historic building so there's no elevators? I'm checking, like, especially if I'm in my wheelchair that day, instead of being able to get away with, like, a cane or my walker, then, like, okay, I'm trying to figure out, is there a ramp? Is there, you know, what? So I have to do a minimum amount of research all the time, or else I've wasted my whole day. It can be really difficult. But I do love some spontaneity, right? Like, I do love popping into whatever random restaurant looks cool, or, you know, hopping a bus in a random direction just to be in a new part of town I've never been in before. I love that kind of stuff. But then it's harder when I'm making plans with people. If I'm going to somewhere completely new, a new city, a new state, a new country, of how am I going to get around? Is the hotel I'm staying in going to be accessible? Or is it, like, are they only going to have availability on top floors of the hotel and there's no elevator? Stuff like that. Whereas in Germany, it was really nice because the hotels tell you on the website if there's stairs to get in and if there's stairs to the guest rooms.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like,
or if there's an elevator.
Germany was very accessible.
But that's not a thing in America. Not a single city I've been in has that on the hotel websites.
No way.
That's not a thing.
I'm telling you,
most hotels don't have that.
Is lacking, bro.
Most hotels don't have that. It'll be like front and center on the website in other places, but here,
one of my friends, he's like slightly like paraplegic. I know he can't move his legs, and like most of his arms don't move, and he has like a whole wheelchair. And so when we like booked up hotels, like that was the thing. It's like, all right, well, like I need to take a shower. It has to have like all these essentials. But like, I did. I guess you might be right, because I did go for the hotel that like. It was an expensive hotel, so you would expect that they have all those stuff, and they did have it on. Well, they had it on the website. They had it on the website. It was like, oh yeah,
expensive hotels will tell you at least.
Accessible room, 100%.
They're also significantly less accessible rooms. So even if there's vacancies at a hotel, the only accessible rooms might be booked already. Like 600 hotel room hotels sometimes only have 10 accessible rooms. Like it's really outrageous sometimes. So I have to plan to some extent, or else I could be stuck somewhere.
Yeah,
I could be totally screwed.
Okay.
And then also, it's a money thing, right? There's a luxury in being able to afford last minute travel, because planes cost twice as much or more sometimes within a month of the flight, or trains, or even hotels at the last minute. Like all of that costs more. So between accessibility meets poverty meets my brain seeking structure, there's no reason for me to wait if I know I'm going on a trip to like
you kind of have
put off
now I get it. You
booking things. Whereas last year I found out like Geek Girl Con wanted to interview me at their con.
Oh, cool.
And I found out like the same week for sure that it was happening. So I booked a bus, effectively like a Greyhound, but cheaper. The less seats there are available on the bus still, the cheaper the cost is. So I just like grabbed the last seat on a bus, and I went up there. And the first night up there, I slept in a haunted warehouse instead of a hotel room.
That's the only part that I feel like that is even for me.
I slept in a warehouse in the industrial district that a friend had a key to. And I went up there, and then the next night I had a hotel room. Because like I could get one night of a hotel room, and then I came back and it was fine. It's not like meticulously it has to be planned out or I am destroyed. But there's a comfort in knowing I have a way to get there. I have a place to sleep. I know these things. There's a comfort in that, and my brain loves that.
Basic planning. You're not like planning every single hour.
Well, it's still planning, because look at us, man. We so privileged we don't need to do planning sometimes. In a sense, like look at 15 years ago, how much you would have to plan without having no real internet or iPhones or GPS. We would have to plan with how do we get from A to B if we're taking a car? We have to look at the big ass map and figure out the road. You know,
print out the map quest at the library on my way somewhere. Let's go.
I still remember those days.
It's real. It's real,
granted,
man.
I was too young, so I didn't plan those. So once I got older, I was just like, I can figure it out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was raised by old people. I was raised by my grandparents who grew up in the 1920s, and so I grew up with paper maps, baby.
You definitely grew up with.
So
You definitely grew up old school.
yeah, I grew up old school. I understand. It's okay. But no, I love that you asked if that's a part of like OCD experience, because I definitely think it is. You know, like it's not the only thing, right?
No,
But it's a part of it.
Thing. I didn't
Yeah.
honestly. BK, you hit the hell. I did not think about that at all. I was like, oh wait. Yeah, that's a different. A different. You're looking at the world differently.
OCD, one of the things that happens, one of the ways that the obsession part of it happens, right, is you attach to an idea and then you think of every way it could go wrong. And the more ways it could actually go wrong, the bigger that spiral is, right? So it's easier for me. Yeah. And so it's easier for me if I minimize the things that could go wrong. I know I have a place to stay that won't have a bunch of stairs and I'm not going to get stuck somewhere. I know that I have my travel booked far enough out that I can afford it and I got a good deal on it. And so I have more money to spend while I'm there doing whatever random stuff.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things minimize the size of the spiral so it stays nice and close in and I can manage it. But if I were to just wing it, I've done that before. But the spiral's a way bigger arm to that spiral
to control,
because there's so much more that could go wrong if I just show up somewhere and there's nowhere accessible to stay and I can't afford whatever. And so I minimize this. I'm still in the eye of a storm, but I minimize the size of the storm.
Yeah, that's
cool. That works for me.
That's a very unique outlook. I never even realized that. Because, like I said, like, honestly, until you told me all this stuff and I went into your stream and, like, learned more about you, when I first met you, I would have never guessed any of this. Ever.
You probably also wouldn't have guessed that I'm a massive introvert.
No, you came up to me. So, no,
I give
not
good
at all.
extrovert when I need to, in short bursts.
Out. I was like, wait, this person wants to know who I am. God damn it. I'm not ready to
also
talk.
Depends on the people. Towards some people, you feel like more extrovert, and towards some people, you feel like more
No, but dude, she's in the
introvert.
middle of the crowd. Like, she's talking to everybody. Like, dude, she's doing she's doing work out there.
Maybe it was the right crowd, you know? That's why, you know? Like,
I manage it a lot better at conventions or like nerdy events, if that makes sense.
Because
you feel safe, comfortable, safe.
How do I put this?
Because I feel that.
I've been unsafe at these events, so it's safety specifically, maybe not. A woman in these spaces has a rough time. But I've had people stalk me at conventions and wait outside the women's room for me to come back out and follow me into like security only places. Like, it's a mess. Like, sometimes being a woman at a con is rough.
I'm so sorry. I apologize for all the creepy
I'm not
men
trying to
in the world.
No,
because that shouldn't have.
I've had some. Yeah, and bless the security staff at cons.
Oh yeah.
Big ups to all of them.
Yo,
but
shout out to PAX security. I have worked with them.
Oh,
they get shit done.
Yeah. Also, the enforcers on their safety circle at PAX, incredible people.
Really
every single one of them.
So that's why I love going to PAX.
But yeah, I've had issues. I mean, even last year, I had to talk to the safety circle at PAX. No. Obviously, I'm not going to say about what, but like I did. So it's not specifically safety. I think there's something comforting. I was always the black sheep of my family, to be super clear. It was my grandparents and I kind of rode a wave, and everyone else in the family looked, especially at me, as like a little bit of a circus freak vibe. Like it was a big disparity in
not the circus freak.
How we are. I was an oddity nobody knew how to deal with, and it was an interesting time. But I also experienced that when I went to high school. I only went to public school 2 years, and it was junior and senior year. And so I was like a kind of an oddball by the time I got there.
Fair.
And I was really bullied. I had to get special access to like staff-only elevators because people would push me down flights of stairs at school. Like, it was a really bad time. And So by the time I was an adult, I tried to just keep my head down and sort of get through a crowd
I get that.
and do my thing. And then I went to my first convention and I realized the most freeing thing. I realized that there's every single person in the building has something in common with me.
Yes.
Maybe not the same things in common, but something in common with me. And there's somebody guaranteed to be weirder than me within 50 feet at all times.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when I
100%.
realized those two things, it was so freeing. And I sort of eased that grip on like keeping my head down and being invisible and interact with more people. And then I started staffing conventions, which I've done for 16 years.
Yeah.
And I've been on the board of director of one in the area that was 12,000 attendees. And like I've
Yeah, you're like
done all sorts of stuff with that.
You're like a social person now.
And it's really great to help facilitate people also feeling that freedom of everyone in the building has something in common with you. You're not the weirdest person here. You can breathe a little bit. You can try to find community a little bit. And that helps a lot. And so meeting you in a big room full of fellow Twitch people. I mean, it was a Twitch exclusive online broadcaster exclusive party
at
at an arcade bar. So it's gamery. There's activities. Everybody has something in common because we're all broadcasters.
Yeah.
It's easy. And then you seem to know people that I knew. Like I was waiting for Thor, and you knew Thor. And so you were.
Shout out to Thor.
Yeah, shout out to Thor. But there was adjacent enough, right? Like I knew we had a list of things in common.
So it was okay.
And also I also had the ability to just nope out if I wanted to.
Also
right?
very true. Because at any point you
big crowd, I could have just disappeared at any point in time, but you seemed cool, so the interaction kept going.
Honestly,
and it wouldn't have mattered. But I also think little kindnesses matter. So I compliment random people in general if I have no obligation to keep talking to them.
Crazy word.
But I was in a circumstance where I could keep talking to you afterwards, and that hit different. You know? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. It honestly,
that's how I come at that.
So we are kind of over time, which totally fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I enjoy talking to you, and I love this. But I also
time flies.
I was like, I wanted to get my 2 questions out. It's gonna be our final questions.
Yeah.
But it does relate to this because, like, perfect example. Like I know a few people within the neurodivergent like community that are like content creators and stuff like that. Like I've gone to a couple panels so I can learn more because I didn't understand even what it was. Like I might have OCD. I'm still not sure. Who knows? It's a possibility. Like after watching everyone talk about things, I was like, oh.
There are a lot of different ways to be neurodivergent, and there's a lot of comorbidities. There's a lot of overlap.
I'm on the spectrum, and I have no idea. but not here nor there. The difference of like you analyzed that perfectly of that same situation, and I was always brought up like obviously like in my family there's no mental illness. Like mental illness is just a mentality. It's just whatever you want to think. So I never thought but growing up after I left my family, moved away and did all my own stuff, I realized like shoot, like I actually am terrible at social like events and stuff like that. Like that's like it looks really good cuz I'm really good when a camera gets pointed to me, but like when I'm like by myself, like you caught me when I was like drifting in my own mind. So I got so fucking scared when you came up. I was like, "Oh god."
I'm sorry.
I was like, "Shit, someone's talking to me." So like
I caught you in a moment where your mask was off.
Yeah,
and you had to put it back on very quickly, and that was stressful.
Drifted. I was like not even in the crowd. I wasn't even in the crowd.
Yeah.
But like, so this perfectly ties into the question of like, so you not only are you neurodivergent, you've been in the community, and have experienced, and I'm assuming talking to different people in the community. What is like? What is some advice you would give someone that has these kind of situations when it comes to like public events and like because like obviously conventions, it seems that me and you, that's what we find once we went to a convention, we figured out things. Like I was like, oh wait, like these are people that I'm like I can be friends with. I don't have to be scared around them. Like we can just be family if we want to, or I can dip out if I don't like you.
Yeah, that's also one of the relieving parts is
So like this is
you
kind of my
might never have to see them again, or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I might never even see you again.
Mhm.
So like that's kind of my 2-part question. I normally ask like, what's a good advice you would give someone trying to pursue like your field of work, but I feel like for you especially, it would really help listeners and stuff like that to get like a neurodivergent like viewpoint. You know what I mean?
sure. So all brains, neurotypical, neurodivergent, however we're parsing people, all brains work different. Whether you have an internal monologue or not, whether you have OCD, so you glomp onto things and spiral, or you have compulsions like I have, which we didn't cover but is a part of it, or you have even like major depressive disorder or some kind of anxiety disorder, like all of these things change how your brain works and how you interface with the world and how the world interfaces with you. And so it's okay if how you handle a situation isn't like anyone else you know. That's okay because your brain is just not on the default settings. Some people's operating systems, they just used it out of the box and everything's cool. Yours might have different settings turned on, and that's cool too. You just have to sort of check those settings. You have to compare how you feel about each circumstance and which ones you want to repeat and which ones you don't. And it's okay if you have to take it slow. For some people, really big conventions are very overwhelming. So something like a PAX would be too much to ask of some people because it's so many people.
Too many.
But some people find a great amount of comfort in that because there's anonymity in a crowd. You don't stand out as much if in a room of 1,000 people as you do in a room of 10 people.
Yeah, totally.
So it's all about your comfort level. If being in a crowd but nobody's interacting with you isn't as scary, maybe a bigger con is going to work for you and you can just take it slow. A lot of conventions also have ribbons or pins that you can wear, or you can get them from one con and keep wearing them on your lanyards for conventions. I have a lot of lanyards nearby that say whether or not you're comfortable talking to random people, whether you should let them approach first or not. There's badge ribbons and pins and things for that. And you can also, there are pins that people sell with sliding scales of how social you're feeling that are totally normal to wear on your lanyards. You don't have to be on all the time. Some people use it because they're streamers and they're having a little break and they just don't want people to come up in that moment.
So cool.
And sometimes it's just a person who's neurodivergent and is just absorbing the scenery and doesn't want to talk at the time, and that's okay too. And the thing is, the other thing that I would say to anybody out there who may or may not be neurodivergent, may or may not have social anxiety, whatever the thing is, if you don't feel like you have the energy for this, it's also okay if you wasted time or money on a badge and don't go every single second of every single day. It's okay if you're not at every single panel you want to go to. Most conventions nowadays have quiet rooms where you can just go unwind for a little while. Or you could hang out at your hotel with a friend or, do whatever the thing is. You can go find a park nearby. There's a lot of ways to decompress at con, but you didn't waste anything by experiencing the parts that made you happiest and then taking breaks. So
that's a huge
thing. So those are my main things. Remember that no brains work the same. No two neurotypical brains are identical. No two neurodivergent brains are identical. You don't have to have a diagnosis to go at your own pace. And it's okay to not feel social every second. Those would be my really, really big things. And again, what you seemed very excited and shocked about the badge ribbons and pins.
I'm so excited about that.
Many conventions have those. Many do. They're usually at info booth. If they're not at registration, check, find them. If not, a lot of places have them for free and you can reuse them from con to con.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a couple badges that I put on that I keep on on like all my like I have my Twitch Black Guild one that I kind of put on to all my badges. I have a couple pins that have like my he him and like what I do
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like I never seen anyone that has like a scale that like I'm just
Either
not
scales or stoplight colors.
yeah, I'm just not what's that word? Like I'm just not conversational right now. Cuz
Yeah.
you've seen me. Obviously, I don't have
So-
any of that. So people come up to me all the time and even when I'm like wore out and like stressed, like and like there's too much people, like I just can't get away.
So those ribbons and pins, they often are in stoplight colors. They're often red for like, I don't want to interact with people, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yellow if it's like a let me approach first, and a green if like I want to talk to everybody. I'm super social. Hit me up anytime. Walk to me in a hallway. So I would keep an eye out for those. Does that answer that question in an adequate way?
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Awesome.
I do have something to add though.
No,
I love the
please.
fact that you mentioned settings, and I immediately thought about it. For example, let's take one of the more popular games, which is FPS shooter Counter-Strike. Because at the end of the day, we are a gaming podcast, so let me give you an
Yeah.
analogy. I know
Love it.
for a fact there's people that play close to monitor like this. There's people who play the game like this.
All the way
There's
back.
people who play with stretched monitor settings. There's people who play with regular monitor settings. There's someone who plays with higher sensitivity, right?
Yeah, true.
Someone plays with lower sensitivity. So
Field of view. People change the
field of
FOV all the
view,
time.
Yeah, if you can, depending on the game. But my point is that as long as you get to the
Everyone changes
result,
because-
it does not matter what your settings are, and the same goes to your real
like
life.
that.
If
That's cute.
if your brain has different settings, it's okay as long as you get
I
to
like that.
the point or the goal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to. That's also a big issue with like teenagers, right? Like they try to fit in because they want to be on the default settings or whatever settings
You wanna
they
be on the
are to
settings
match
everyone
them.
else is.
But you wanna, yeah, it doesn't mean they have the best settings, meaning that like this is the path that you choose. Maybe you have your settings, and maybe
Yeah.
you should be people around that have their own settings as well. Not be like a sheep to the to the.
Sheeple. Don't be a sheeple.
There is there's nothing as liberating, and I say this no matter how you take it, whether it whichever intersection of personality or identity or whatever it is, there's nothing as liberating as finding people running compatible settings to yours. Find those people and you'll be golden, I promise.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably become
I'm picking up
family.
what you're putting
those
down. I like that. I like that. I like that. Honestly, I will say your advice actually touched me on such a different level. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Now everything makes sense.
The second
happy to
question
help.
is not really a question, but we do give you a space. Take as much time as you want.
Yeah,
Just let
yeah.
us know. Let us know what is going on currently with your life. What are your short-term plans, long-term plans? Just let us know.
And where everyone can
And
find you.
obviously, yeah, and obviously feel free to give also any shout-outs.
Oh yeah,
Before we.
of course.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm Fire Ashes on Twitch. That's my primary platform. I stream 4 to 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and every other Saturday. Each day of the week is a different type of content. They're themed days. So Monday's horror. We do indie game showcases on a different day. We do non-video gaming content one day a week where we work on cosplays or art or do cooking streams. Things like that. Fridays are always Yakuza. I'm 8 games in and I'm gonna finish it, so help me. But we do different things 5 days a week, up to 5 days a week on Twitch. I stream twice a week on YouTube doing indie game reviews.
Oh, nice.
And you can also find me on the podcast The Old Ways, which is the tabletop RPG podcast that I'm in several of their actual plays, including Silver Screams, which is our 1930s Hollywood Cthulhu game that's about to wrap up, where we explore identity and try to survive Eldritch horrors as well as the Haze Code. If you know, you know.
I'm like, dude, this doesn't make any. Okay, all right, you know.
But there's that. Our season of Mage is currently going on. So anybody familiar with old tabletop role-playing games like The World of Darkness, Mage the Ascension, it's the same people as Vampire the Masquerade, same universe. I am one of the main cast in that, and it's super exciting. We also, a little teaser, we're switching to a new game as like a main playthrough on my channel, and our next co-working stream will be making the cosplay for a character in that franchise. And I have been having people guess that, so who knows. But you might be seeing a lot of a certain franchise very, very soon, and cosplays debuting. Otherwise, my entire life is revolving around GameStorm right now. GameStorm is my baby. I've been working on that convention for 16 years, so if you're in the Pacific Northwest or you want to be, it has every single kind of gaming for 4 days straight in Portland, Oregon. There's everything from LARPing to LAN parties, and all of the profits go to charity. And this year we have an actor who does work with Dropout TV as one of our guests. So Chris Grace is going to be there and running games for us also. So if you're a fan of that type of thing, come check us out too. I run a 4-day game there. You could game with me for literally as much as 4 days in a row.
It's a 4-day campaign.
It's an ARG, and so you play it whenever you're not in other content at the con.
Oh, that's exciting.
It takes place in the entire hotel.
That's neat. I've never heard of that before. That's different.
I have a lot of fun with it, and you can kill people. I promise, but not permanently. So
of course not. Of course not. We're not actual. Just
no actual murder. But yeah. That's about it. Otherwise, you might be hearing more voice work of mine coming up in podcasts that are being announced soon, and in episodes of other shows, and potentially other voice work in a larger industry SAG-AFTRA kind of way coming up soon. And that's it. I think that's everything I'm allowed to say currently.
That's all the things you are allowed to say.
If you want to find out more, you can look at
fireashes.com. You gotta check her out and watch it, and watch the developments unfold.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Ashes, I adore you. I've adored you the moment I met you. I thought you were just like the coolest fucking person I've ever met. And like all the different like charities you do and all the different communities that you support, honestly, like speak so highly. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I actually add one thing really quick?
Yes, please.
If anybody, you mentioned charity, and the spiel didn't include Game On to End Lupus. We've been working on it for a year.
Yeah.
So Game On to End Lupus is the biggest lupus fundraiser of the year for the LFA, so the Lupus Foundation of America. They help with global research and resources, but they're based here in America. They also talk to Congress every year on the behalf of disabled people and lupus warriors and their families.
You out here
May is Lupus Awareness Month. Game On to End Lupus is a live streamed on Twitch event. It is over 100 streamers. Last year we hit $1 million raised since we started this event in 2020. Come join us, please, if you want to be involved. There's so many things people can do.
Oh, I'm about to hit you.
And
May's my birthday.
It is.
So I love doing charity work on my birthday.
I love that. So if anybody's curious, look up Game On to End Lupus.
Okay.
Or hit me up on any platform and I'll give you deets. But I think it's one of the most incredible experiences I've been a part of in my life, maybe, is being part of that, because it's not individual fundraising. We're all in it together in a way I've never experienced before with charity work. So that's the last thing. I'm so sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. Thank you for letting us know that. Thank you for letting the audience know that.
Yeah, have as much time as you want.
You're one of the few. We've had a couple people on here that do a lot of charity work. I just knew that you do a lot of charity work that like I didn't know resonates with me. Like I do a lot of charity work for the adults, like the disabled adults in Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't have like a connection to them other than I met some guy and I love him so much that I like help the whole community. Other than that, I have no relationship to it. But like a lot of your charities have something that hits close to home for me. So I was like, I know it's probably gonna hit close to home for a lot of other people. So if you guys haven't gotten in contact with these charities and these fundraising, this is the person that you want to talk to help get you started on that pathway. So thank you so much for letting us know that.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
I'm grateful for the platform for it.
Of course, that's what we try to do. We try to bring awareness to everything as much as we can, because a lot of things don't get represented as often, and like it's never the like spotlight of things. So I'm glad that we were able to get to chat with you and get you on here and like learn your story, learn all the cool things you're doing, and I already know you are going to provide so much hope for the next generation, for people that are trying to pursue your path. Like you
That's so
are
sweet.
a light in this world. So thank you so much for coming on with us. It really means the world.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you. I don't. All I can do is try to be the person that I needed when I was younger, and sometimes that's enough.
Great.
Me, that's literally all I'm trying to do. I just want to be the person that I needed at the time that I needed it.
If I can be that and that helps other people, then that's everything I could want in life.
Yes, I appreciate that, and I know the world appreciates that. Thank you so much. And shout out again, my boy BKV, like my homie, my day one. This guy is a pro and is right. If you guys haven't followed him and followed all his socials, that's definitely something that you guys need to do. I'm your host, Commando W.
What we need to do, sorry to cut you. What we need to do is follow Fairy Ashes, and it's all down here in the
Well, that was
description.
the next part. I was going. I was getting there.
Okay. Sorry
I
to
was
interrupt
getting
you.
there.
I had
Yes,
to cut
and
you out.
special thank you to Fury Ashes, the one and only, the homie, Miss Bunny herself. Like, if you guys haven't followed her on everything, please do follow her journey. Help out. If you have something that you want to give, like you can help out and help these charities and things like that. Like, we're trying to make the world a better place, and she is one of the trendsetters doing it. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Again, I'm just so grateful to have been here and to talk about all these things and to go through the wild set of conversation topics that we went through today. Such a pleasure.
That is the cast. You never know how the conversation will go or what journey it will take. That's why everyone's always like, "Oh, like what do I got to do?" I was like, "Trust me, there's no way to prepare for it. There's no way. Just bring yourself and be authentically you, and everything will
Okay,
work."
Sarah, Sarah.
Yes,
Whatever will be, will be.
Yes, with that being said, guys, that is another episode of the Fireside Gamer Stories. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, please, if you guys haven't, shout out to Buddy. Give her a follow. All the socials will be down in the bottom. Till next time, guys, I'm Commando. We got BKV, Ashes. We adore you. Peace and love, and everyone be safe out there.